It's interesting, you know, the origins of collecting. Everybody's has, I think, a different story about why they got started or how they got started. Myself, I have a real predilection to look for context in a piece as being the more interesting element of it. The story behind an item is oftentimes so much more interesting than the physical item itself. The idea for Plan B originated 6 years ago. I was just coming out of working for about 23 years in the local film industry. My knees and back were getting a little bad, and you know, when you retire from film, there's no pension plan or retirement package. You're just on your own. I worked in the art department. I really loved stuff. And I had like 6 storage units and 2 houses full of stuff. People had said for years, you know, dude, open an antique shop, and you get all kinds of crazy stuff, sell some of that stuff off. And I thought, you know what, maybe I should.
I want to grab this one, sorry.
Sure. That was 5?
I'm not sure, this one inside there.
Yeah. That's probably. Sometimes when I'm out picking, things come to me that are fairly interesting, and some of those things come together in an unusual sort of way that you'd think, like, this isn't just random chance. This has to be more pointed. I was in Yarmouth picking a barn a few weeks ago. One of the first things I came across was a beautiful pair of antique roller skates. This is the set right here. Set those aside with the pile of my other stuff, and went and took a look at the last corner of the place. When I was digging through there, I came across something that you don't see every day, which was the body of an M21 hand grenade, Second World War American. They call these the Pineapple. So for expediency's sake, when I packed up my stuff after we made our deal, I popped it in the boot of the roller skate so it wouldn't roll around in the back of my car. When I got back to Halifax, I looked them up. They were made by the Chicago roller skate company. They had a really rich history. These guys were like the, you know, Adidas of their time. They were a massive maker of roller skates. Everybody had a pair of them. And as I'm reading through their history, I got to a point where I'm telling you, I just about fell off the chair I was sitting in.
Billy McCoy was a boy who could play, you bet. Oh, how they swayed when he played on his old cornet. He's got a smile and a cute little style that's all his own. He'd mute his old cornet, and then he'd make it moan.
During the Second World War, a lot of businesses stopped manufacturing what they were normally doing and were turned over to war work to help support the American war effort. And in this case, the Ware brothers, who owned the Chicago roller skate company, had switched the plant from making roller skates to making M21 hand grenades. You could have knocked me over with a feather when I read that. The roller skates and the hand grenade, God knows, you know, like how far they've traveled and whether they traveled together or not. But in that one moment a couple weeks ago, I brought 2 things that started life essentially in the same space, possibly, you know, like within meters of each other, back together again. If that's not a perfect example of the gravity of objects drawing each other back together, I don't know what is. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? Like hula hoops and shotguns.